Hello race fans, and welcome to week 1 of the CTC Cup Series. We are here at Daytona after a long speed weeks, and well, finally ending this plate race mayhem for the first points paying race other than the duels of the season here at Daytona. 60 laps around this 2.5 mile circuit, and it should be a good race. Driver's going to be gridding up right now. Apologies, had to let the drivers know they didn't have much time to grid. But man, I am excited for this. It's been, like I said, it's been a long speed week. It's been a lot of tough racing, but it's been clean. And I think that's going to transfer over to this race. These guys have had a lot of practice here at this track in these cars. 33 cars looks like in the session, so we're only missing one. Not entirely sure who that is, but we are missing one driver from the initial duels. So 33 cars for tonight's race. And here they go. Blake Giglio gonna be starting on the pole tonight. Got the pole position in qualifying. Obviously did not matter where he finished in the duels. Starting on his outside, Michael Christopher in the 22 car. Another great qualifying effort for Mike. We'll see if it transfers over to the race this time. He's going to be starting up on the front row with Giglio. Dave Voigt's going to be starting in the 3rd position in the number 97, one duel one, with help from that 16 car in front of him. So look for those two to be working together tonight. Ethan Evers, one duel two in a good wrench car last week. A little bit different look for him this week in the Mustang, but looking good in that 3 car. Going to be starting in 4th tonight. Quinn Newton, number 88. So close to winning many races here in the Cup Series. I don't think he's gotten that one yet, so he's going to be looking to get that first career win tonight in the 88 car. On Quinn's outside, Michael Edwards in the 4. Ethan Evers' teammate, looking to get his win here tonight. He helped Ethan get that win in the duels last week, and now going to take one for himself, hopefully tonight. So he just took the bus stop. Daniel Llewellyn going to start in 7th in that 23 car. Really good run of the duels for Daniel. So starting toward the front here tonight. Cliff Mullins, the 37, going to be starting in 8th. Andrew Griesbaum, 68, starting in 9th here tonight. Another good run of the duels. Outside row number 5, Victor Lugo, winner of the Daytona race last season. So going to be trying to go back to back and relive those glory days from Victory Lane. Patrick O'Keefe, 92, will be starting in 11th, teammate of Lugo, I think. Correct. Jake Vianoski going to be starting in 12th tonight in the number 48. Casey Graves in the 01 starting in 13th. 14th tonight, Jesse J. Jones in the 55. Thomas Dill going to be starting in 15th tonight in the 53. Jeff Price in the 14 going to be starting in 16th. Ace Johnson in the 33 starting in 17th. Patsy Catalano in the 45 going to be starting in 18th. Brian Martin in the 54 starting in 19th. Davis Greenwell in the 20 starting 20th. How about that? Michael Prachik in the 2 car going to be starting 21st. Ronnie Holmes in the 57 starting 22nd. John Neckrich in the 66 had a good run in duel 2, and the race did not end out he wanted, so he's going to be starting from the back. Travis Skermetta going to be starting in 24th in that 77. Trent Sneed, who missed the duels but did qualify, going to be starting in 25th. Garrett Boyd did not have the best luck in the duels, going to be starting in 26th. Nick Leo in the 69, one of our final 4 drivers. I mention it every time, but he really was really fast last season. Ran a great race at the Daytona race last year, so going to be looking to repeat that again this year and get that win. Jonathan Rains in the 5, starting in 28th. Lucky Karlek, haven't seen him since qualifying, so he's going to be racing out here tonight. Travis Scripture The 18 will be starting in 32nd, making his first career start in a points-paying race. And finally, our 33rd car in the field, the 17 of Cody Brown. That's on a provisional from his charter. Same with the 18. So those two did not participate in qualifying or duels, but will be racing tonight. So gonna be a little bit new for them. See if they can adapt quickly with the rest of these drivers who have some experience. And that is the field. And we should be going green this time by. Man, that was a mouthful. It took me almost all the 2 laps to get through the field. But here we go. Off of turn number 4, Giglio going to lead us to the green flag. Pace car rolls on to pit road. And we are green flag racing here in season 7. Everybody got a clean restart. Giglio and Christopher side by side into turn 1. Oh, Andrew Beach. It's like coming out of pit road. Had to start from the pits. But lap number 1 complete under green. Michael Christopher out front for now. Looks like Giglio files in behind Christopher. And now Ethan Evers leads that outside lane. We are completely packed up here. Only 1 car out of the pack. It looks like we're missing 2. Scherer and the 71 of Andrew Beach, but let's get back up front. Don't want to miss anything. Side by side at the line, Christopher going to lead lap number 2. Like a little bit of contact to the back of the field. Trenton Sneed looks like he has some front end damage. So having some problems early on. A couple drivers already off the field. Had something happen toward the back. And it looks like the outside lane having some issues now. They're falling back all the way to the 5th row. Cliff Mullins leads that outside lane. Because it looks like Evers and Edwards will drop down to the inside. Outside lane is dying out at the moment. Mullins and Newton trying to revive it there. And then the rest of the field led by Catalano. They're going to close up. Oh, big stack up on the bottom lane. That's going to turn into a caution. Jeff Price is around. Caution is out. I don't know how the caution come out earlier than that. Jeff Price, heavy front end damage, reminiscent of Duel 1, I think. Wrong place, wrong time again. Jonathan Rains, heavy right side damage. For any other damage on these cars. Jeff Price definitely looks like he got the worst of it. Let's rewind and see what happened right there. far. So it's going to be toward the front here. I think it's going to be around the 01 of Graves. No, it's a little bit farther up than that. Just a bit of an accordion effect. Everybody just keeps checking up. 33 tags the left rear of the 14. Luckily those guys save it, but then back it up again right here. You see Reigns comes in here. He gets contacted by the 14, comes off the wall. Him and the 53 come together, and then he just kind of drives down the track. Probably a little bit of damage on that car. That's what it looks like to me. Maybe turned down. I'm not entirely sure. Get one more look at it from the blimp. Who I wanted to go to. You can see just the stack up right there. Unfortunate. Lap number 4, we have a caution. Back to the live broadcast. Reigns takes the fast repair. Like Jeff Price gonna stay on pit road and fix the car. No, that's another fast repair for Price. So 2 drivers already using their quick repair. And it looks like about 12th on back all came down pit road. See on the ticker right here how many pit stops we've seen so far. Well, obviously no drivers out of this race yet. Did take the 1 to green signal right here. These drivers can probably make around 30 laps on a tank of fuel, probably a little bit less than that. Should be around 30 though. So ideally you split this race in half. I'm sure that's what everybody who stayed out is thinking. You know, not really much point in taking fuel here if you're just going to split it in half anyway. But on the flip side of that, everybody who came down is going to have a shorter stop when they decide to come down the next time by. So it's kind of a decision. Do you want track position to stay out of the mess, or do you want to come in early, get your fuel that you need, and maybe get track position later on in the race? It's just kind of, it's a decision that you got to make. And in a situation like this where the fuel is pretty cut and dry, where it's, you know, take fuel at about halfway and that's about it, you know, there's not much more you can do. And that's why you didn't see too much of a split. I know top 10 stayed out, but pretty much the rest of the field decided to come down and just take the fuel. Works a lot better at a track like this where you're really not sure what's going to happen. These guys could go green for 40 laps, or they could wreck every 5. You just don't know how this is going to go. Right now it looks like we're going to wreck every 5, but with only 1 caution, it's impossible to know what they're going to do. One thing I know is I think this is the most cars we've had at the Daytona race in a couple of seasons. And I think that's playing a little bit of a factor in what we saw right there. It's just, you have so many of these cars, especially these next-gen cars, stacked up like that. It's hard for these guys to see the checkups coming. And it just ends up accordioning all the way to the back of the field. But here we go. Pace car pulling off. 3 car enters the restart zone and it's going to wait till the end, gets on the gas. Green flag back in the air. On the poll. 50% of you said over 5.5, 50% said under, so we'll see what happens. We already have one in there. What a start for Evers and Edwards. Those two pull out and kill the outside lane again. You know you got a good pusher when the outside lane starts dying. I mean, it's once you have a good pusher in either the top or the bottom, it's hard for anybody to stay up there with them. Once you pull that lead, it's hard to come back from it. You can see Lugo and Keith, I'm sorry. Lugo and Keith tried to jump up. Keith. I apologize. O'Keefe now jumps up to the top lane. Looks like Blake Giglio gonna jump up to his bumper. And the field really stacked up in the back. Somebody's on the bottom. Looks like Garrett Boyd. I think he jumped out of the pack to get out of the mess. Might be a smart decision the way these guys are racing right now. Oh, big move from the 16. Jumps down below the 92. And the 01 goes with Giglio. And now the 48 and the 92 gonna be the front two on the outside lane. And these guys are weaving all over the place. It's not something you want to do in the next gen car. This car loves you to be smooth around this track. If you're bouncing all over the place, hitting their bumper in 4 different spots, it's not gonna like that. And Giglio and Reeves. Great. Why do I keep saying Reeves? I apologize, Casey. Giglio and Graves. I think I'm putting his name together. I apologize. Those two pull out for almost the entire front straightaway, but here it goes. I think the 01 got a little hot and had to back off, and now the rest of the field's catching him once again. Oh, Catalano down to the inside. Patsy may have jumped out of the pack, didn't like what he was seeing. He's going to try to rejoin safely here. He gets up without issue. Now Giglio looks like going to lead lap 11. I want to mention for any new viewers, no stage points here in the CTC Cup Series. It's the old early 2000s and before NASCAR point style. So 180 points to the winner. 5 points for leading a lap, 5 points for leading the most laps. So that's why you'll see these guys, they'll push up to the front aggressively to lead a lap, and then they'll just kind of fade back and wait for the trouble to happen. So I think that's why Giglio pushed so hard to get to the front right here. And that's why you'll see guys kind of be content with riding in line. Obviously, Evers and Edwards, they led for a while right there, but they're just kind of riding down that inside lane in 3rd and 4th at the moment. Because, you know, we have 48 laps to go now. So, not even close to the end of this race. Still a guaranteed pit stop to go at least. No point in pushing too hard right now, and you'll see, I mean, even the top lane, they're just kind of riding in line, hanging on. Making sure they don't do anything crazy. And that's what you want to do early on in this race. Don't want to put yourself in a bad position. But I'll tell you who's putting themselves in a good position. Those Artemis Esports guys on that outside lane. Look at this from the blimp view. Look at those boys lined up. They know what they're doing. They got this coordinated very well. So look at them. Look at what they're going to do in these next couple of laps. Maybe get a 3rd lane going. But either way, they're sticking together and they're making that teamwork happen. Love to see it. That's good coordination right there. And this whole field, I mean, they're starting to get really stacked up right here. Been green for quite a while now, about 5 or 6 laps. Graves and Giglio have led pretty much this entire time, except for the first 2. But they're dominating this portion of the race. But it's surprising for Giglio how quickly he got up there. He's one of the only few that came down for fuel under that caution to get up toward the front. The rest of the pitters have stayed toward the back. Giglio doing a little bit of blocking up high, moves back down in front of Graves. And Llewellyn is all over the back bumper of the 01. Swerving Ernie. Irvin. I don't know what's going on up here. But Ethan Evers from pushes from Edwards gets out to the front now, and he'll lead lap 15. And Vainoski followed those two up toward the front as well. He's sitting in third, but Giglio now on the outside. Gonna try to make the outside lane work, and as I say that, Evers and Edwards go up to block that outside lane. And historically, these Cup cars are much better on the outside lane than the inside here at Daytona. It's just easier to push, it's easier to maintain momentum, and the absolutely ridiculous side draft you can put off of your left side just kills the bottom lane, and that's what's happening right now. It's hard for the bottom lane to keep up, and Giglio going to leave the 4 out, or attempt to, and that forces the 3 and the 4 down to the bottom lane. That's one of Giglio's signature moves. He loves to do it at Atlanta, and loves to do it at Daytona apparently as well, as he sticks his nose up there and moves those 2 down to the bottom. Newton down to the bottom, and the Artemis guys have picked up another one of them. Now Giglio leading in front of Neckrich, Greenwell, Stripshire, and Brian Martin, it looks like, all lined up on the top. Only broken up by the 01 of Casey Graves. But almost the entire front half of the outside line is Artemis Esports cars, and that is impressive. Look at all that blue. Or green, or we went teal. I think that'd be teal, turquoise, something like that. I'm not good with colors. But Quinn Newton now out front. I think he might have led that lap, so he'll get some extra points. But now Giglio with some good pushes from Neckrich moves out to the lead. We'll see if he does some blocking on Newton. Those 2 former teammates a couple seasons ago. On BGR, who has since folded. Blake brought home a championship for NGC Motor Club last season, who has also since folded. Drivers are starting to take notice of the 7 teal cars on the outside lane. It is honestly impressive, the dominance they're showing right now, and they are pulling away from the inside. And that's the benefit you have of having friends at these plate tracks. When you got more people working with you, it's just going to spell success for the rest of the team. And if these guys continue to do this at the end of the race, they're gonna all have good finishes. They can line up like this, and they are killing the inside lane now. Newton and Griesbaum fading down there. Oh, somebody's in the outside wall, looks like. Oh, they're stacking up. And they're wrecking. Big old wreck on the front stretch. Nick Leo involved. Jeremy Scherer involved. Okay, so all the meatballs I just cleared, that was an accident. If you know your car is destroyed, come down pit road. It's not an excuse to cause an incident on the restart. If you're missing a wheel, if you can't keep up, make sure you pit. Didn't mean to put that on the broadcast, but because everybody's checking up for the pace car right now. Alright, there's the pace car. Alright, I'm assuming everybody gonna be coming down pit road right here. Either for fuel or for damage repair. Looks like the 2 car are gonna stay out. Take a look at the replay of that incident in just a moment. A lot of cars pit and a lot of cars get black flags. We're gonna get that figured out really quick, and then we'll take a look at what happened. But that was a pretty substantial wreck. All right, let's go back and take a look at what happened there. Apologies. Let's take a look at what happened. It's not the caution. There we go. Okay. So it's going to start on the front stretch here. Not sure roughly where it started, but I think it's around the 71. Probably a little bit ahead. But I know the 71 had heavy damage. It's like a stack up front. I think somebody gets in the wall, and it's just on from there. A lot of stacking up. I couldn't tell what car that was, but somebody nailed the outside wall. Trying to find it. I think that's the 20. There it is. Alright, 20 car gets up into the outside wall. 18 checks up. 54 tries to check up, and then the rest of the field does not see what's happening. And they all go around. I'm going with the 48 car. Yeah, he's just got nowhere to go. Go one more time on board with the 23. He just gets tagged from behind, nowhere to go for Daniel as well. Go from the start-finish camera. What a wreck. Alright, so I'm assuming a lot of fast repair is going to have to be used on this one. And the green flag is out. Oh man, I'm sorry. Didn't realize how quickly we were pacing. Back to green flag racing. Quinn Newton leads us to the green. Michael Christopher, he's got some nose damage on that 22, so he'll be stuck behind cars until he gets that fixed. Looks like under that caution, Patrick O'Keefe came down for a fast repair. Jeremy Scherer came down for one, had to tow that car. I think Nick Leo took the quick repair. Thomas Dilg, Andrew Beach, and I think that's everybody who took a repair into that caution. The rest of them took optional repair, and it looks like everybody's okay for now. 32 cars in the main pack. Only missing the 15 who had to come in tow, as I said. So the 15 is the only car lap down at the moment. Back to the front. Newton's starting to pull away in that bottom lane with help from the 22. 66 and Neckrich jumps to the outside lane. Gonna get some help from the 55. Caution's out, we got a wreck. Ronnie Holmes spins to the inside, heavy front end damage on that 57. 2 of Michael Prachik. Dave Hoitzman, the 97. Oh man. Caution number 3 of the night, lap 26. See what happened on this one. We'll get a quick replay. See if we can find. Okay, so the 57 dropped to the back. Ooh, okay. So it's the 2 car. Back it up right here. Okay. What do we have here? 2 car drives down to the bottom. And then drives down again into the 16. And oh, the 16 may be unhappy about that incident. Turned up into the 2 car. Let's back it up on board with the 16. Two car, I think he came down a little bit right there. like a lot of drivers coming down pit road right there. They're close to halfway, and that means they're close on fuel, making it to the end, and that means a lot of them coming down pit road right there. Looks like Shearer gonna take the lucky dog right here. So he'll get his lap back on the lead lap. And that replaces and puts another driver a lap down. Ronnie Holmes involved in that incident. Heavy damage on that 57. Surprised he didn't take the quick repair. So that may be one car out of this race already. See who we got in Discord, see if we can get a word with somebody. The highest driver I can talk to at the moment looks like Quinn Newton, so we'll see what he's got to say. Hey Quinn, it's Lucas in the booth, got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey man, well, sitting in third right now. Got through this race pretty clean so far. What are you going to do for the last half of it?
Well, fuel's gonna be a major part of this, so hopefully we can make it to the end. It's gonna be real close. We kind of pit there early on and started in the back, hoping that it would kind of maybe go green and we could like take a quarter pit stop with fuel, and we got up to the front. Everything was going great. That caution there didn't necessarily help us, but we got track position, so if we can make it to the end, if there's a few cautions here or there, it'll be real close. If that happens, we'll be sitting real pretty, but it'll be interesting to see how this goes, because fuel is going to be different for certain people, especially for the people in front of us that stayed out, so it'll be interesting to see how this goes.
I got you, man. Well, what are you hoping you're going to make it to the end? What do you think is going to happen here?
It's going to be close. It's going to be really close.
Gotcha. Well, so you think it's going to be fuel that'll determine?
Well, there's going to be another wreck guaranteed. So I mean, but if you have the fuel to stay out in track position, I think you stay out potentially. But there will be, I think, a couple cautions guaranteed. So I mean, there's opportunities to pit. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting.
Gotcha, man. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
All right. See if we'll be talking to him after the race or from the infield care center. For his sake, I hope it's at the end of the race in victory lane. Here we go. Pace car going to pull on a pit road, and we'll go green once again after our third caution of the night. Braves leading us to the green this time around. Steps on the gas, green flag back in the air here at Daytona. Good start for Graves. And you're going to try to jump to the outside, kind of sitting in the middle right there. That's not what you want to do. Drops back to the bottom lane in front of Newton. And those Artemis guys really got spread out now. I think their plan fell apart, unfortunately. It was cool to see it happen in real time, though. It was great coordination. We'll see if they can get back together toward the end of the race. But that's what pit stops will do to you. You really can't... it's just hard to figure out where everybody's going to come out. And it's impossible to stay together when that happens. But Graves stays on the inside. front of Newton, and I think somehow the 55 got up in front of the 69 of Leo, so he's going to be leading that outside lane now. And it looks like the two, there we now have two packs. 20th on back are in a separate second pack for the moment. We'll see if they can get caught up again. Led by the one of Lugo. Looks like they're catching back up. They didn't quite lose the draft yet, so not too much of a problem. 3 wide for the moment. Catalano split in the middle, and he's blinking. And he is gone. Catalano drops out. Now Michael Edwards leading the outside lane. Looks like Leo and Jones drop down to the inside and lead that now. And the entire field is caught back up, and this could spell trouble. Good view from toward the back of the field. And that is a lot of cars. Dave Hoytsma, who won Duel 1, got caught up in that incident some laps ago. Didn't have too much damage though, it looks like. Out there hasn't taken the fast car yet. So, 97 just going to be right in the back a little bit, staying out of trouble. I like that plan. Back up to the front, side-by-side racing for the lead. Michael Christopher leading the outside lane with that damaged Mustang. You can see a pretty substantial front-end damage on that 22, but he leads the line and drops down into first place. And John Neckrich, the 66, leading that outside lane, could lead this 33rd lap. And he does. That should be the first lap led for the 66 tonight. That's another 5 points in the bank. And I hear a really blink from the back of the field. Looks like he took it 3 wide, and Daniel going to take it 3 wide as well. Andrew backs out of it. Looks like the 92 also backing out of the front pack. '66 getting pushed by the 4 of Edwards. The 22 being pushed by the 69 of Leo. Oh, bad push! Christopher saves it. Oh, Christopher comes over the radio and says it was on him, so he might have got offline a little bit. .34 laps complete here at Daytona. .25 to go next time by. Hard racing going on up front. I think that's the 16 jumping lanes. No, it's hard to tell those cars apart. I think it was the 54 of Brian Martin. Somebody jumped up and down again. And I feel that. These cars, you never know when the run's going to take place in either line. You got to get lucky and be in the line that's moving, and then you got to jump out of it quick because it's going to check up soon. And that's kind of the dance you got to play the entire race if you want to get back up front. And it looks like a lap car, the 57, 1 lap down. Oh no! We have a wreck, massive wreck. The 5 car involved again, and a few others. 71 front end falling off right there. Oh man. Pretty big wreck here on lap 36. The 5 car with damage. All right, we're gonna back it up, see what happened right there. Looks like the 16 at Giglio. No! Giglio gets by clean, and it was the drivers that followed him, I think, that caused that. See the 48 right here. Gonna try to follow the 16 toward the inside. And the 48 and the 5 just kind of come together. I don't know, that's a toss-up right there. The 48, I mean, the 5 is pinching the crap out of the 16. 48 comes in there and kind of moves up into his quarter panel, and those two go around. The 5 slides down in front of other drivers. 71 gets heavy front end damage. I think the 37 got caught up as well. Looking at it from the blimp cam. 33 heavy damage. 71 as well. Destroyed that front end. All right, so big old mess again, and somebody just got turned at the front of the field. Okay, so top 6 all stay out. Ethan Eber's going to be out front now, as it looks like Michael Christopher came down pit road. He was leading at the time of caution. Like a 2-tire stop and fuel for the 22, and 10th on back all came down pit road under this caution. Like Ronnie Holmes got the lucky dog, so he'll be back on the lead lap with a clean 57 race car. Jonathan Rains took some optional repairs, come off pit road on the lead lap. Same with 23, 71. The 33 is still on pit road, now 2 laps down, so his night might be over. All right, after caution number 4, we're going back to green here. So far, we've got some pretty good green flag racing in. I expect that to continue. Hopefully, we can finish this out pretty well. I expect a couple more cautions here and there, but I think we're going to have some good racing here to the end. But Ethan Evers in control of the restart, steps on the gas, and a good start with him and the 4, and those two jump out and probably are going to go up to the top for turn 1. But as I say that, they stay down, and 55 comes down with them as well. And that leaves the 53 Int'l go by himself. He jumps in line. And the outside lane is already almost dead. Now we got some cars jumping to the top. 53 Int'l, 20 of Greenwell, 66 of Neckrich. So 22 of Christopher going to drive up to those 3. Big stack up right there. Yep, I expected a problem from that. And that's going to be a caution. 18 of Scripture involved. They're still wrecking. Try to get back to that one quick. Looking for the 18 right here. Check up to 77. Jumps to his outside and just kind of turns the 18 up into the outside wall. Just a big checkup right there. I don't think the 77 saw that happening. We'll try to back it up here and see how that checkup started. See up there at the 22. 22 checks up a little bit. 97 checks up a little bit as well. And that's just how it starts. I think maybe just the back of the field, everybody's kind of riding a little bit too close for the situation. Oh, Newton almost had it saved right there and just could not hold on to it. All right, caution number 5 of the night happened shortly after the restart. And it looks like the 33's night is not over. He is back out on track. 6 laps down, unfortunately, but he is back out there, so gonna try to get as many spots as possible back. Looks like all 33 cars are still under power and on track. The way this is starting to wind down, I think that's not going to be true very soon, but for the moment, every car is still running. Field goes back to double file. Alright, field coming back to green. No green with 16 laps to go. This is where it's going to start getting crazy. No more riding in line. This is where you're going to finish. And you got to make sure you have track position for the end of this race. And I know every driver knows that. Hopefully they keep their head on their shoulders. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Evers gets us to green. Edwards going to drop down below him. Behind him. And Nick Leo left all alone on that outside lane. That restart did not go well for the 69 machine. And he'll have to drop back in line in 6th position. Field kind of broken up right here. Inside lane, a lot more cars. Top 5 have pulled away. As it looks like the 55 has just blinked out. Oh no, the 45! Catalano wrecking, and a bunch of cars with him as well. All right, let's see what happened right there. Catalano jumps up in front of the 88, and I think just kind of confused the 88 and Newton. Those two spin to the outside wall, and looks like nobody else going to be collected in this one. Let's go on board with Newton for this. Quinn just kind of, I mean, he tried to line up with the bumper of the 45, and I think just misjudged it. It definitely wasn't intentional, I can tell you that. These two, I think, were working together right there and just kind of mistimed that. And that's going to help these guys that are close on fuel out. Let's see if we can grab somebody and talk to him here. Grab Mike Edwards. Hey Mike, it's Lucas coming.
Hi.
Hey, man. Well, running second right now behind your teammate Ethan, and you two have been working together pretty well so far this race. What are you thinking for the end of this thing?
I just don't want to die. The runs in these cars are scary. They're very loose and kind of hard to drive at times, and I'm terrible at pushing. So far so good, but you never know in these races.
Yeah, man. You say you're bad at pushing, but you've been pushing Ethan pretty well so far. You keep killing it outside lane. What's your fuel looking like, if you don't mind sharing?
It's very tight. Like a lap and a half to the good, I believe. Being up front might change that, depending on how we all get scattered if it goes green. These cautions are helping though, but it's definitely close. As for the green whites, I don't know, but we're just gonna send it, I guess.
Gotcha, man. Well, I hope it works out for you. Good luck.
Thank you.
That was Mike Edwards running second at the moment. We'll talk with Ethan as well. Hey, Ethan, it's Lucas. Got me?
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, I just got pulled randomly, huh?
Yes. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to catch you off guard, but you're running up front right now. How's it feel?
It feels like a wreck fest at the moment. I don't know. I haven't been in the back a whole lot, so I don't know what the racing is like back there.
Yeah, just a whole lot of checking up and not a lot of checking up. It's the best way to put it.
Oh, an accordion effect, eh?
Yeah, that's what it's been a lot. I mean, you got 33 cars out here. The back half of the field just does not understand. But you've been up front. It seems like the place to be right now. Mike said you guys are kind of close on fuel here. You about in the same boat?
Yep. I mean, they can wreck all the way up until we take the white flag. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Well, I hope that happens for you, man. Good luck.
Appreciate it.
That was Ethan Evers leading the race right now. He won duel too, so if he can get this done, it's gonna have the most points by far. That'll put him up there. I mean, we got a few super speedway kings here in this league, and he'll put himself up there with them if he can win the duel and the race. Here we go. We're gonna go back to double file. We'll go green next time. Bye. That's the first time my tower has broken all night. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why it keeps going to green. Alright, gonna go green with 11 laps to go in the race. The last two restarts, we've not made it a full lap, so hopefully we can do that this time around. We've had a good race up to these last couple of cautions, so hopefully we can continue that good race. Alright. Coming through turn number 4. What's going to happen here? Evers and Edwards teammates on that front row. Can they work together and get this thing done for one of them? Green flag back in the air. Evers Edwards, good start right there. Garrett Boyd and Cody Brown gonna file in behind them. Outside lane, Griesbaum leading that outside. Some help from the 69 of Nick Leo. Oh, the 14 of Jeff Price gets forced down below the yellow. They're 4 wide for a moment. Contact the 66. Out of shape, and they are wrecking. Man, we just cannot deal with these checkups. Martin, Giglio, Johnson, all with damaged flags. And many more cars involved in this one. This has probably been the most destructive wreck of the night. And let's back it up and see what happened. So it's going to start around the 14 and the 66. The 14 has to check up. Big checkup up front. Somebody gave a bad push. 14 has to go down, tries to rejoin. And they're 4 wide for a second. The 66 gets bumped down. Then the 45 comes in there and turns the 54, and everybody wrecks. Oh, man. Oh, man. That sounds like the 55 had an internet outage. gonna be going green this time by. See if we can get out of this caution funk. Maybe 7 laps to go when we go green. We do have unlimited green-white checkers here in the Cup Series, though this race has to end by taking the white flag and under green. Unless they go... how much time we have left? An hour and 10 minutes past regulation. In that case, iRacing will kick us out because we took too long, basically. If we take that long, I don't think we'll see any more weeks of racing. But I have faith in these drivers. I think we can go green to the checkered right here. Just gotta have faith. Ethan Evers going to lead us to the green once again with his teammate on his outside. Green flag back in the air. Eight laps to go. Sorry, 7 laps to go here at Daytona. Took scoring a second to update the 68 with a big bump from the 69. Lucky that didn't leave the entire field in a wreck. Now, the 17 and the 53 left on. Oh! The 17 with a big jump to the inside. There had to have been a couple inches between him and the 97. But he gets the move done. And now that 53 will be the leader of the outside. '97 jumps out. Dual 1 winner. Michael Christopher going to jump out in front of the 97. Those two teammates going to try to work together to get up front. Oh, they're wrecking. The caution's out. Somehow they kind of saved it. But let's take a look at what happened. Gets spun down to the inside, and with that massive backstretch, he was able to save it. Race control jumping the gun a little bit on that one, but better safe than sorry with how it's gone so far. I'll take another look at that. I kind of want to see how this all started. Oh, that 87, it looks like. Drives into the corner panel of the 53, turns him down to the inside, and the 14 gets collected as well. Everybody comes through and saves it. Eighth caution of the night. We're starting to get into Caution Fest territory. Hope these guys don't end this soon. They're going to be laughed at. Lucky dog. Looks like the 54 gonna get his lap back. Put Newton on pit road. Gonna take 4 tires. Probably fix some of that damage. And it looks like, just judging on my quick look here, about half the field is taking fast repairs, if not more. The top 2 both still have their quick repair. Well, if this isn't too interesting, and it's not too interesting right now, these guys have been wrecking it up. Next week we'll be at the 1.5-mile track of Texas Motor Speedway. It's going to align with the Real Life Cup series, so if you're interested in watching these guys go at it just like the Real Life Cup guys, make sure to tune in for that next Wednesday. But before we can go to Texas, we got to finish Daytona. And it looks like a natural green-white checkered is what's about to happen right here. Field's gonna double up. We'll go green next time, bye. Yeah, we're probably approaching that. The race, I mean, we had a ton of green flag racing at the start, but, you know, typical Daytona, you see it in real life, it's just, you get down to the end, these guys, they want to see the checkered flag first, and that's all they'll go for, and I think you get in that mentality that you got to do it on the restart or it's not going to happen at all. But here we go, 2 laps to go, we take the green right here. They roll through the restart zone. And those 2 up front get out at about the same time. And we're wrecking in the back. Massive wreck. Oh my goodness. And that's going to use our first green-white checkered of Unlimited. Let's take a look at what happened. Sounds like it starts with the 14. Big checkup on the outside lane. Drives to the inside of the 87 and just didn't check up in time, kind of moved up into him. It's on board. You're gonna, I mean, he's running back the 10th or 12th row, and that's where all the checkups are going to be at. A little bit of a checkup right there. He tried to no lift it, and that's what I talked about right before the green. Is either do it on the restart or it's not going to happen at all. that's what happens. '57 front end destroyed. All right. So that's our 9th caution of the night, and it's getting rough. It's getting rough. Like I said, this is just Daytona. You either get a good one or you don't. And the first half was a good one, I would say. They were racing good. And now they just can't get out of their own way. If anything, it's going to be a learning experience for Talladega, which is a long way down the road. So they got time to figure this out. Next week is going to be at Texas, and Texas usually puts on some great racing. So I'm going to be excited for that. And I think we're also going to be breaking the streak of no penalties in the Cup Series. It has been an entire season since a penalty was last handed out to somebody. Season 6 has been the cleanest league race I've ever seen in my life, league season. All those races are here on the channel if you'd like to go watch. They were in the Gen 4 Cup car last year, and got a lot of those drivers still in here this race. But with this new car, the next gen kind of promotes this kind of racing, and that's what you're seeing right now. But I have faith they'll figure it out. And we'll see some good racing next week, I bet. But we got to finish this thing first. Green white checkered attempt number 1 going to be coming at you in 1 lap. And we talked about it with these guys. Edwards, Evers, Griesbaum, Boyd, Dave Hoytsma, Thomas Dilg, all have not pit in 34 or 33 laps. So these guys, now that we're into green white checker territory, they're going to be nervous about these restarts. Their fuel is going to be starting to get close. We're running extra laps than we were scheduled to do. And like I said, a normal green flag run should be around 30 laps. So they're now 4 laps past that. They've run a lot of caution laps since they last pit, so they're going to have some extra fuel in there. But I would say 2 or 3 green white checkers is all they're going to be able to do. We'll keep an eye on those drivers, but the rest of the field should be good for quite a few. They're not going to be looking at their fuel mileage. Just those drivers I mentioned. Quick update on total cars on track still. It looks like 30 total cars on track. That's what I'm seeing. 29 cars on the lead lap. All right. Pace car runs out of turn 4. Going to jump onto pit road. Holding belts tight one more time. Green flag back in the air. Michael Edwards, a good jump. Teammate Evers on his outside. Those two flip-flop positions. and those two are side by side. We'll see if Evers jumps down in front of the four, and he does. That'll leave Garrett Boydley in the outside lane. They make their way to turn 2. Whole field side by side. 97 gets turned down to the inside. He saves it. Good save. He'll get back up into the field. One car's got to move up a little bit for him. There he goes. He joins back up with him. Now Garrett Boyd up front for the moment, but the 69 car leaves him out. Those two door each other, and we're wrecking big. Huge wreck. That's the big one. Several cars caught up in this. That was just ridiculous. I don't know what they were thinking right there. All right. Take a look at that. We saw it live. Backing up from there. All right, you're going to see the 69 jump down below the 38. Clean move right there. 38 comes down into his door, trying to side draft. 69 gets loose. 3 car gets into him. And the wreck is on from there. Probably a dozen cars caught up in this. And the 69 did not hold his brakes, drove right into the 14. That's certainly not what you want to do. See right here, the 69 makes a clean move down to the bottom, and yeah, it's just the 38 contacts and the kind of net code contacts right there. It really should not have moved the 69 car that much. And just absolute carnage at the front of the field. Right, we're now on lap 65. This race was scheduled to be 60 laps. And now the top 3 are all 37 laps into their fuel stint, which means they're going to be looking down at their fuel gauges pretty soon here. Top 4, I'm sorry, Evers, Boyd, Edwards, and Griesbaum all have a pit in 36 or 37 laps. You also got Thomas Dilg and Dave Voitsma out there also on that same strategy. Yeah. Definitely. The 69 didn't seem too concerned about holding the brake pedal right there. I have to agree. It's indeed a race. We have been racing. All right, 1 to green. .29 cars still on track. All right, we getting ready for green white checkered number 2. Ethan Evers back out front for this one. Garrett Boyd going to be on his outside now, and he's got Breezebaum behind him. Evers has his teammate Edwards behind him. Blake Giglio has found his way back to the front. He's riding 5th right now. Definitely, Travis, definitely. I think I might have cursed us there. Here we go. Evers has a little bit of front end damage from that caution, so we'll see if that affects him. Pulls into the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. Oh, check him on the outside lane. 38, either down on power or started in the wrong gear. Not sure, but that killed the outside lane. And that's, yep, that causes a wreck. The 22 sideways. He saves it. Lucky Race Control did not have a heavy trigger finger on that one. I helped myself. And we stay green. Evers and Edwards just on an island. The only one there with him is Giglio. But he's got no help. White flag this time by. Do they make it? And it looks like they will. This race is official. White flag in the air. Evers leads at the line. Can anybody mount a run on these two? Through turns 1 and 2 they go. Giglio looks to the outside. Vainoski looks to go with him. Who does Scripture and Mullins go with? Giglio going to tuck back inside. Going to try to build up another run with help from his teammate Travis Scripture. Through 3 and 4, Michael Edwards stuck to the back bumper of Ethan Evers. Nobody's going to get to him. Does Edwards make a move? He does. To the outside goes Michael Edwards. Side drafting the 3 car at the line. Ethan Evers wins Daytona. And everybody else comes across the line behind him. I think every car finished. Oh, John Neckrich. Oh man, almost every car came across the line clean. It looks like Neckrich and Price both had an incident on the final lap. But what an impressive run for Ethan Evers and Michael Edwards. Those two dominated this later half of this race. Nobody could get by them. And Evers wins Duel 2 and then comes out here and wins Daytona in that 3 car. What's better than that? Andrew Beach tried to come and congratulate him and wrecked everybody on accident. Alright, Ethan Evers going to burn it down on the front stretch.
What's going on, brother? It feels pretty good. I was just glad they kept wrecking and we could save the fuel to get there. So congrats to everybody else for helping us out. Yeah, I thought Mike was gonna get me there for a minute, but I don't know if he sputtered coming to the line or whatever, but he just said, "Oh," and I was like, "Well, I guess it was a good thing that was just between us because I wasn't real sure how that was gonna end if we kept having to get green, white checkers." Yeah, we appreciate it, man. Yeah, appreciate you broadcasting and putting all this on for us. Yeah, shout out to the ones that are actually on the car this week. uh, Fort Worth Screen Printing, Labor 12, Autism Awareness, and ggsracing.com. I believe that's all we got.
Gotcha, man. Well, congrats on the win, and we might see you next week.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Not sure if Ethan's running full time, but if he is, that'll lock him into the playoffs in 10 weeks. Talk with teammate Michael Edwards. Mike, what's up, man?
Hi.
Well, we talked to you as well with about 10 laps to go, and you and Ethan both taking home a 1-2 dominant performance in the second half of this race. You guys got it done. You almost got to him there at the checker flag, but just didn't have enough of a run.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened there. These cars, once you get out of the draft, they just suck. Thought I had it. That sucks, but glad we were able to go 1-2. I had like a lap of gas left, so one more caution would have been screwed, but I wasn't pitting, so yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, definitely. It was good job by you two. I mean, you said you don't really know what happened there. I mean, did you think if you made the run earlier, or I don't know, obviously you were kind of hoping one of you got it, so you waited as late as possible, but is that kind of what happened?
Yeah, it was hard to without getting help because Blake, I don't know if he was letting off or laying back. I think he was a little bit, but he also said he had no help. He wouldn't have go poop, by the way. But yeah, so we kept lifting. I kept telling Ethan to lift and lift. Just tried not to get a big gap because the runs you can get in these cars, like I said earlier, are insane. But I don't know. I didn't want to wreck them. Kind of owed him a little bit from prior stuff that we've done. Kind of being selfish. But 1-2, I'll take it. It was fun. I miss these next gen cars.
Yes, sir. Glad you enjoyed it, man. You got anybody you want to shout out for the run?
Yep, everybody at Fort Worth Screen Printing, Labor 12. Boy, I don't know who's on here. 712 Brakes and Quinn, great group of guys. You for doing this broadcast and setting this whole thing up. It's pretty awesome. And Neo for making the paints, for not me, but Ethan as well. So pretty cool.
And you guys were looking spiffy tonight. Neo did a good job. All right.
Yeah, it kind of modified Swiss a little bit, so I guess shout out to Swiss too, I guess you can say. I don't know all what Neo did, but Neo doing Neo things, I guess.
Neo doing Neo things. That's the most truthful sentence I've ever heard. All right, man. Thanks for talking to us. We'll see you next week.
All right, man. Have a good night.
All right, that was Mike Edwards, P2 finisher tonight. Like Mike said, it sounds like Blake went to go to the bathroom, so I'll not be talking with him, unfortunately, but we'll wrap up this broadcast. Thank you all for tuning in. I know the second half of that race was pretty rough, but looks like everybody stuck around for it. I appreciate everybody watching. Like I said, be out here for next week at Texas Motor Speedway for week number 2. Hopefully a much better race there. It should be. But like I said, everybody, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Ethan Evers gets the job done and dominates Speed Weeks. And now we get to move on to some real racetracks, as some would say. And I'm excited for that. Results, we'll see if they work this week. Nope. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with that. Anywho, there's the results on the left side of the screen. Ethan Evers gets it done in first. Michael Edwards finishes second. Giglio in third. Scripture fourth in his first career race. So nice job to Travis. Cliff Bullins gets the top 5. Garrett Boyd takes home a 6th. in his first start as well. Then you got Thomas Dilg in the 53 finishing in 7th. And Victor Lugo, Daytona winner last season, takes home an 8th, so pretty good run for the defending champion. Then Vainoski takes home a 9th place. Griesbaum takes home a top 10. Patsy Catalano takes home 11th. Dave Hoytsma takes home a 12th. Trenton Sneed in the 81 takes home 13th. Daniel Llewellyn 14th. Jeremy Scherer in 15th. Brian Martin 16th. Casey Graves 17th. Andrew Beach 18th. Michael Christopher 19th. Patrick O'Keefe in 20th, rounding out that top 20. I'm sorry, it's a lot of names. I'm not going to call out the rest. It's been taken by for a while, so if you want to see where your driver finished, there they are. But thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week.